$30 billion. That's the size of the bankroll AirTrunk is pouring into India to erect 5 gigawatts of AI-focused data centers. Imagine a single warehouse humming with enough compute power to train the world's most sophisticated models, all right here on the subcontinent. This cash influx could flip the script on global AI leadership, and it starts now. Think about the scale: 5 gigawatts equals roughly 5,000 megawatts, the power output of a mid-size nuclear plant. Spread across multiple campuses, these facilities will house thousands of AI chips, each capable of processing quadrillions of operations per second. That's the raw horsepower needed for next-gen models like GPT-5 or large-scale vision systems. Why India? The country boasts a 600 million-strong internet user base, a burgeoning AI talent pool, and a government pushing digital sovereignty. Pair that with renewable energy incentives, and you have a recipe for ultra-cheap, green compute. AirTrunk's spend could slash AI training costs by up to 40% for local firms. The ripple effect? Start UPS will get affordable access to world-class hardware, multinational giants will anchor R&D labs, and the whole ecosystem, from chip makers to cloud providers, gets a massive boost. In short, $30 billion isn't just money, it's the catalyst that could rewrite India's digital destiny. AirTrunk was founded in 2015 by Robin Kuda with the vision of delivering hyperscale, wholesale data center solutions across the fast-growing APAC region. Headquartered in Singapore and now backed by Brookfield Asset Management, the company specializes in building carrier-neutral campuses that cater to the world's largest cloud providers and enterprises globally. Today, AirTrunk operates more than a dozen hyperscale facilities spread across Australia, Japan, Singapore, and Hong Kong, representing over 1.2 gigawatts of critical IT power. These campuses are designed for rapid scaling, featuring modular designs, high-density power, and industry-leading cooling, enabling the company to add capacity in months rather than years. AirTrunk's wholesale model means it builds to suit, then leases the space on long-term, triple-net contracts to hyperscale cloud players and large enterprises. The carrier-neutral approach lets customers connect to multiple networks, while the firm's focus on energy efficiency yields average PUEs around 1.2, translating into lower operating costs and a smaller carbon footprint. The $30 billion, 5 gigawatts AI data center commitment in India marks a strategic pivot for AirTrunk. It expands beyond its traditional APAC wholesale core into a high-growth AI-focused market, leverages India's abundant renewable energy and deep talent pool, and aligns with the nation's ambition to become a global AI hub while diversifying geographic risk. 5 gigawatts sounds abstract, but compare it to a nation's appetite. India's average electricity draw is about 137 gigawatts, so AirTrunk's 5 gigawatts equals roughly 3.5% of the country's total power consumption, enough to run a mid-size European nation like the Netherlands for a full year. Now think AI workloads. A single large language model training job typically needs about 2 megawatts of sustained power. At that rate, 5 gigawatts could support around 2,500 simultaneous training runs, or train the equivalent of GPT-3 over 1,200 times in a year. Finally, put it in household terms. The average Indian home consumes roughly 1 kilowatt. 5 gigawatts divided by 1 kilowatt gives about 5 million homes, enough to power every household in a state the size of Tamil Nadu continuously. To visualize all three comparisons, imagine a stacked bar chart, one bar for national grid share, one for AI training slots, and one for homes powered, each segment clearly labeled to show how 5 gigawatts translates across energy, compute, and daily life. AirTrunk's $30 billion rollout is expected to create over 200,000 direct and indirect jobs during construction and operations, spanning engineers, technicians, and support staff. To fill these roles, the company is partnering with IITs and NSDC to launch AI-focused certification programs, aiming to upskill 50,000 workers in the next 3 years, turning India's talent pool into a competitive advantage for global AI workloads. To power its 5 gigawatts AI campuses, AirTrunk is signing long-term power purchase agreements with solar and wind farms across Rajasthan and Gujarat, targeting 70% renewable electricity by 2028. These deals not only lower the carbon intensity of AI workloads but also stimulate local green energy markets, creating ancillary jobs in panel manufacturing and grid integration while helping India meet its 500 gigawatts renewable goal. Industry analysts see AirTrunk's commitment as a catalyst for deeper foreign direct investment. As NASSCOM's president Debjani Ghosh observes, India's combination of scale, talent, and green power makes it the next AI superhub. Early interest is already evident, with 3 global cloud providers announcing plans to co-locate AI training clusters within the new campuses, potentially adding another $10 billion of capex over the next 5 years. Despite the promise, challenges loom: securing uninterrupted power during peak demand, acquiring large land parcels near grid hubs, and navigating complex state-level clearances could delay rollout. To mitigate, AirTrunk is investing in on-site battery storage, pursuing modular land use designs, and working with state governments on single-window approvals, aiming to keep the project on schedule for a 2026-2029 phased commissioning. AirTrunk's 5 gigawatts plan must navigate a patchwork of state-level approvals, from environmental impact assessments to power allocation orders, while complying with India's evolving data localization and cybersecurity directives. Each clearance can add months, and conflicting policies between central and state agencies create execution risk that could stall early works. Securing the vast land parcels needed for multi-gigawatt campuses is another bottleneck. Ideal sites require proximity to high-voltage substations, ample water for cooling, and room for future expansion. Competing demands from manufacturing and urban sprawl push up prices, while right-of-way negotiations for new transmission lines can prolong timelines by a year or more. On the supply chain side, lead times for AI accelerators, power transformers, and modular UPS units remain stretched globally, with 6 to 12-month queues common. AirTrunk's reliance on prefabricated, containerized data center blocks helps mitigate on-site work, but any disruption in semiconductor fab output or steel shipments could push the phased 2026-2029 commissioning schedule outward by roughly 6 months. Weighing the upside, hundreds of thousands of jobs, a surge in renewable PPAs, and the potential to make India a global AI training hub, against the downside of regulatory delays, land bottlenecks, and supply chain shocks leads to a cautiously optimistic verdict. If AirTrunk secures streamlined clearances and locks in long-term power, the $30 billion could indeed ignite India's AI boom. Otherwise, the rollout may linger, giving rivals a chance to capture the upside.